What's going on, everyone? This is Eric Seekers with the SIU Career Development Center, and we're going to be talking about how to build a resume. The next thing we want to look at today is resume content. What do you need to put on your resume to take it over the top? So just getting started, the first thing that we want to do is list everything in your past that could be relevant. This includes your work experience, your class experience, any RSOs you're in, any volunteer work you do, any applicable skills you have. And then step 2, we want to consider what job you're looking for. And then step 3, we're going to be talking about a little more in detail with a later video. This is really taking the job description of the job you want and making sure you're hitting those keywords or buzz phrases that are in the job description when you're applying for the job. So here are just the basic guidelines for your resume. You want to present your qualities in the most positive and honest manner. This is important because you don't want to lie on a resume and then get the job and have no idea what you're doing. Next thing we want to do is be consistent with your formatting. You want to make sure your margins are identical on all sides of the page. And then you want to make sure that you're using space between items and categories. Headings and titles may be bold, capitalized, italicized. You want to make sure that it doesn't make it harder to read when you're doing this step, but you also want to try to make sure they stand out. You want to use fonts that are not too large or not too small. If you go too small, then they're not going to be able to read your resume. If you go too large, you're not going to be able to get any valuable information on there. You want to use short, concise phrases. You don't want to use sentences. We've seen a lot of resumes where people will put their job and then write out a full paragraph about what they did at that job. You want to be brief in these resumes. You want to make sure that your resume is brief enough that they can get the information without being tedious. Resume length. You want it to be 1 to 2 pages. The reason that we have this is because you want it to be the most relevant information you have on the job that you're applying to. Obviously, if you have a lot of job experience, you're going to have a longer resume. If you don't have very much job experience, you're going to have a shorter resume. And here we have the heading. As you see, Sam S. Saluki. We just put the city that he's located in. This is for more privacy reasons. Then you have a phone number and an email address for them to reach you at. And now we're going to go into the sections of the resume. So we have the objective, which is just a short declarative sentence on what you want to get out of your resume. And then you have a career profile, which is a shortened version of your highlights of your career. And then we move into education. You want to make sure you mention the school, what your degree is in, any specializations you have, and if you have a high GPA, you want to make sure you put that on there as well. Relevant experience. And this is going to be specifically experience that you have that is relevant for that you're applying for. And then you move on to any additional employment information. This can be more brief. It just kind of shows that there are no gaps in your job history. And then as you can see, we have different categories for skills. We have laboratory skills, which are specific for this job type. And then we have computer skills, which is Microsoft Office, which everyone should be proficient in if you're a college student. And then ChemDraw, which is a software specifically for laboratory jobs. And then we have honors and activities. Here, it is important to list extracurricular activities you have or any honor roll, things like that that show that you're a high performer. Here are some other areas that you could have on your resume. You have relevant coursework. If you are going into architecture, you want to have things like computers and architecture, where you're studying software used specifically for architecture or whatever field you go into. Volunteer experience. This can be good if you don't have a lot of work experience and you do a lot of volunteer experience. Just because you don't get paid for it does not mean it's not applicable to the job that you're applying for. Teaching experience. If you have experience teaching in your specific career field, that might push you over the top for some employers that are looking for someone who can help train people that are coming in. Technical skills. We talked about a little bit in the resume. Laboratory skills, computer skills, things that you have that are going to allow you to do your job successfully. Any certifications or licenses. The reason that this is important is because certain fields require you have certain certifications. If you want to be an RN, you have to be a licensed RN in order to get that job. Any professional memberships. Most careers have a professional membership. And then if you have any professional development that's specific to the job you're looking into, this would be a good time to mention that as well. You also have any presentations that you could have, research or any other projects that you've worked on either individually or collaboratively can also help push your resume forward. The reason that we have so many categories to choose from is because everybody's experience is different. So you need to put the things on your resume that are going to be the most applicable for you and the career field that you're looking into. Some things to keep in mind here. We want to make sure you do not include high school accomplishments and unless they were directly related to your college experience. If you were in UN in high school and you're going into political science, international affairs, then that might be something that's relevant. But because you were on the football team does not mean that you're going to be a good lab tech. Do not use your personal pronouns like I and me. You want this to be more declarative. All experience should be in reverse chronological order. We want to start with the newest information you have at the top of your resume, and then we work backward from there. Some reminders. Everybody's printer is different, so you want to make sure that when you print your resumes out, that they print correctly. You also want to run a spell check. You don't want to be the person that turns in a resume and misspelled the phrase detail-oriented. Have 3 friends or family look over and review your resume. You always should have someone proofread anything that you do. You are looking at it for so long that you start to become blind to things that are going to be obvious to other people. So you want to make sure that you have the opportunity to let those people correct it before you turn it in to someone. Meet with the career services team. We are here to help you build your resume. We are here to help you get the job that you want to get. So anything that you have questions on, feel free to give us a call. Feel free to reach out to us. We would be happy to help you out. Pro tip, convert your resume into a PDF form. This is good because not everybody has access to Microsoft Word. References, this is another part that is separate from your resume but should be a part of the same packet. The heading from your resume should be the heading for your references page. Now you want to list 3 to 5 individuals on your references. You need to have their name, job title, employer, city and state they're located, phone number, and email. This is going to be anyone from, could be teachers, it could be your previous employers. Try not to use your family and friends. Try to use people who have worked with you professionally and can help you get the job that you want. Here's another way you could do your professional references. This is a little more detailed, and this is going to give the employer more information on you and their relationship with you so they don't ask them questions that are not applicable to your situation.